How's it going, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode here, man. I'm your co-host, as always, 12NG, and if you don't know who I am by now, I'll gladly tell you. I'm the type of guy that tells you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And in today's episode, we are now in episode 6 of Keeping It 120 with, of course, your host, 12NG. Today, we're going to talk about overthinking, man. And I think, I feel like a lot of us, we have a goal, right? And especially me. I know all about that, having goals and whatnot. And, the end point, right? We understand the end point of where we want to get to, but we don't necessarily know the steps to get there. In other words, we want to run straight into a straight line, right? Whoop. Run straight into a straight line, but not understand that we need to take steps to get there. Right? Eventually, we know what the overall goal is, but we don't know how to get there. Right? And when we don't know how to get there, and the vision isn't clear, and we just don't know how to go, we start overthinking. In other words, like what to do this or what to do that and this and that. Look, I'm gonna show you guys a video right now. If you guys do not follow me in Instagram, I go by @thereal12ng because I did get hacked, and I will show you the video.
Your advice to overthinkers?
A quote that has helped me immeasurably, and it's from a book called The Horse, the Boy, the Fox and the Mole. The boy and a horse are in the woods, and the boy says to the horse, "I can't see a way through." And the horse says, "Can you see your next step?" And the boy says, "Yeah." And the horse says, "Then just take that."
Wow.
And I'm going to pause it there, guys. I'm going to pause it there because that is really important, okay? I want you guys to understand what he's saying there. He's basically saying, back to me, of course, he's basically saying that just imagine your goal, right, and within that forest there's a fog, right? Obviously, you don't know how far the goal is or where the specific goal is at where, but what you do know is your next step. Now, in other words, let's relate this to me, right? My long-term goals, 10 15 years from now, I have it all set up. I'm gonna own a company, right, it's gonna be a main hub that is gonna integrate entrepreneurs from all around the world, right? It's gonna be a main hub where you're easily accessible to other people, and if they need help, or if you need help, or you need just like paper trail or like motivation or just somebody to talk to, there it is, right? But also what I want to do is I want to bring my family from Colombia over, right? And in order to do that, I need capital, I need status, I need all these things, right? But I also want to help out people in the long run, right? You see how complicated that is, right? There's no way I could attack all three. Hold on, I'm gonna lower the volume a bit because I feel like I'm a little high, no pun intended. But yeah, I truly believe that all of that is not gonna get done in a week, in a year, in 2 or 3 years, right? But what I could do is I could start gathering a following. I could gather a community. I could work on me as a brand, right? And try to push myself in there and get myself all together. So what do is I take the first couple of steps, right? I start making YouTube videos, right? I start trying to gather a following through Twitch. I make a Discord with 13 people in it and nobody really talks but me. But I do these steps because I know that in the long term it's gonna get me there. That's what it is, guys. You gotta put action. I know you see my dog right here, right? She's sleeping, right? Shout out to her for being here. I wanted to actually give you guys that view because a lot of people don't get to see my dog. So I wanted to show her out and everything. But she's here, she's always been here with me. She's been my number one fan. Her and my girl been my number one fan ever since. But back to like I was saying, guys. So, like I said, we all go through this, right? We have this goal that we want to reach, right? And we want to do this, and we want to do that. And we have to understand that the only way that goal is going to be reachable is if you do one thing at a time. You got to maintain your focus on one thing at a time, because if you try to spread your focus to 3 or 4 different things, you're never going to get it done. Alright, the number one thing I believe in is if you focus on one thing and you put your hard work, your dedication into that one thing, no matter what you do, guys, no matter what you do, you will succeed, okay? Because you are consistent. Alright, if you're consistent day in and day out, like I said in my previous videos, you are consistent, you know what you want, you have a plan and everything will work out. But you have to understand that at the beginning you don't know what you're doing, because I said this before, there's no guideline to entrepreneurship, there's no guideline to your goal. You just have to do things that you think are right and that make you happy and that you have enjoyment of, and then you just keep doing it. And as the process, right, fall in love with the process, right, and understand that with that process you will find your way. Okay, you will find what works, what benefits you, and eventually, without even realizing, you'll end up hitting your goal and then even surpassing it, because your goal is could be something that, you know, seems unreachable at first, but then when you fall in love with the process and you're just going through life and you're doing it for the right reasons, you get lost. You know, time could catch up to you really fast if you're not paying attention. Okay, I'm 27, and it's crazy to believe that I'm 27, that I'm about to hit 30, and that everything that's going on wrong in my life, like, I may be here at 27, but at 30 I may be somewhere else. You know, and it's crazy. So sometimes I feel like we have to like take a step back. You know, we have all these big aspirations and all these goals and everything. I do believe that you need to take a step back and just worry about that next step. What are you gonna do today? You know, the average human being dies at the age of 85. Okay, you just have to enjoy the process, guys. I'm gonna keep saying this. Okay, every video I say it. Enjoy the process. To not allow yourself to overthink, you also have to enjoy everything else that surrounds it, right? You have to enjoy the celebrations. Now, shout out to my girlfriend who just got promoted, right? And she decided to go and celebrate. By all means, why shouldn't she? You know, it's a little accomplishment. But if you don't celebrate those if you don't celebrate those accomplishments, you'll never know if you're actually proceeding forward in life. In other words, you won't know if you're moving on or if you're growing or this and that if you never look back to your celebrations. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about here. Alongside with the overthinking, guys, you have to understand that throughout life you're gonna have many successful things that you have to celebrate. And if you go on and you achieve something great that in your eyes is great and you don't celebrate it, then in the long run you're never gonna see it. It's never gonna matter. In other words, in your eyes, you believe that it wasn't good enough for you to celebrate. But if you start looking back and really reflect back, guys, like seriously, look, sit down in a quiet place like I do and just sit there and think all the times, you know, that you achieved something good. But if it was small or big, like it doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you achieved it. And really compare your life, you know, compare your life to how you were a year or 2 years ago. And really, that's how you really start dictating and start really just honestly start like getting rid of that overthinking, because we overthink because we just don't see it, right? We don't see the growth, we don't see the process, we don't see everything. But like I said, I'm pretty sure, man, because even me, like, I always relate these things to me, guys, because I feel like if you're not gonna understand or you're not gonna believe it's relatable to a normal human being if I don't. Right? There's a lot of stuff that I have here in front of me that I did not have a couple months ago. Okay, and I bust my butt for it, and even now, even after having all of this, it's not, you know, it's grateful. I'm humbled and all that, but I want more. You know, I know this is not the end for me. I know this is not my limit. You know, I know I could do more, and I know you guys could do more, as always. You know, but we're, you know, I'm pretty much caught up on what I wanted. I just wanted to keep this short because it's been a while, and then, you know, of course, if you're new, subscribe and everything. Also, take a look at my Twitch at 12NG. That's where I stream most of my games. That's definitely where you're going to get full gameplay of the games that I'm currently playing. I will give you guys a heads up that the YouTube videos you will see of gameplays are just cut, you know. Just go in there, edit everything. I just want to give you guys a general summary of that specific moment of the game. But, yeah, guys, I think we're gonna cut it off there for today. We're gonna keep it nice, quick, and short. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. You know, if you watched 1 second of it, and I appreciate you guys just as much if you've seen the whole thing. And as always, I go by the name of 12NG. Hey, and like always, like I always say, I'm out. Peace.